Hi, I'm Corolla, and on Instagram I'm @FromCorolla. In today's video I'm going to show you how to paint and draw loose flowers using fountain pen ink in real time in a freehand and sketch style. Here are the materials that I'm using in this video. I'm going to be painting on plotter DP plain paper, which comes with a plotter system. They're just inserts that you can rip out and put into the plotter ring binder. In terms of fountain pen ink, I'm using a Ferris wheel press Edwards Gardens shade, as well as the Diamine Citrus Ice. It's a sample that I got from Goulet Pens, as well as Colorverse Brane, which is a shimmer ink. And you can use the paintbrush directly in the ink, or you can use an eyedropper, which I tend to do. And then I put letter stickers on each little vial to help me with my naming. So I used an index in my plotter for easy reference, and I just put in the letter corresponding to the vial and the name of the ink that I'm using. So it's easy for me to reference the different inks that I want to use when I'm painting. I like using fine tip paintbrushes when I'm painting with fountain pen inks, and I use specific paintbrushes for these inks so they don't cross-contaminate with watercolors that I also use, and a ceramic dish with some water to do some mixing of the inks. When I'm drawing my loose flowers, I use a Sailor Compass fountain pen with the Dominant Industry base black ink, which I find is a nice basic black shade. I have a separate video where I explain a little bit more about my plotter ring binder and what I use it for. Generally, I like using it for creative ideas as well as trying out some paints, fountain pen inks, and practicing my hand lettering. So I'll link that video if you want to check it out. But for today, I'm just going to show you putting in an insert plain paper that I'll then use to paint on. I usually put a pencil board or a sheet of leather underneath the paper as well, just in case it soaks through. So I've added the inks that I'm using today in these little vials, and what I'll do then is take one paintbrush for each ink and transfer some of the ink onto the ceramic plate in case I want to mix some of the shades together. Make sure that you're stirring your shimmery inks well so that the shimmer actually shows. And then I'll use some of the ink directly from the vials, or I'll use it from the ceramic plate. So it's totally up to you how you want to do it. Now I'm going to start painting abstract floral outlines, and I usually start with the lighter shades first, and then I add a little bit of the darker shades. I mix them on the paper as well as on the ceramic plate, and that's just my preference. I like doing it both ways, but you might want to mix some shades on the plate or palette separately before you add them to the paper. It's totally up to you. I'll link a video where I explain my style of watercolor and drawing loose flowers. That will give you a bit more tips and some ideas on how to find your own style as well. And for the rest of the video, I'm going to jump in here and there with some explanations, but otherwise, feel free to just watch my process and enjoy, and you can follow along and do it yourself, or you can just watch it and try it out later. the fountain pen inks have dried, I'm going to use my Sailor Compass, which is filled with the Dominant Industry Base Black shade, to draw loose flowers on top. This style of drawing loose florals is very freehand, and so I'm not using a reference or aiming for perfect realistic looking flowers or leaves. I'm just going to start drawing shapes of leaves and different types of petals facing different directions, and letting my hand guide what I want the shape to be, and not worrying too much about whether it looks realistic or not. As much as I like writing with fountain pens, I also love drawing with them. This nib on the Sailor fountain pen is medium fine, which I find is similar to an 02 or 03 fine liner. And I love drawing with fine liners as well, but there's just something nice about using a fountain pen to draw, especially when you're drawing on top of fountain pen ink, so it won't be scratchy, and you're using a smooth paper that is friendly to fountain pen ink. If you got to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I'm Carola, and on Instagram, I'm @FromCarola. I share a lot more videos about my process of watercolor painting and fountain pen ink painting and drawing loose flowers on Instagram. So join me there for a bit more. Bye!